Thanks for joining us here for the Saturday edition of the Hokey video blog. Glad you're here with us. We got a lot to talk about today. We've got severe weather on the plate for not just one, but possibly 2 days as we go throughout, say, the next 36 hours or so. Let's get right to it here. We'll get you through today's Hokey weather fact. First, I want to show you that there's actually what's called upper atmospheric lightning. Lightning bolts just don't occur below and inside the cumulonimbus thunderstorm cloud. It occurs sometimes shooting out of the top of it, and sometimes you get these electromagnetic bursts out the top of it too. And these are all called sprites, jets, and elves. Maybe something to Google for you later on this morning if you right now, because we do have a thunderstorm to our northwest, and it's not causing any problems here locally, but it was severe earlier. You'll notice it here just west of Indianapolis at this time, was dropping, say, about half-inch to 1-inch hail about half an hour ago. It looks like it's weakened somewhat. That's why they've allowed the warning to expire. We'll be watching this because the trajectory of this could put it in Jackson and Jennings counties here, say, over the next hour or two, if it continues the way it is. The forecast is for this to weaken, though, because we don't have quite as much of a moisture fuel down here in Metro Louisville. The shear, while there, it's not as great down here as you get toward, say, Seymour or so. So I think it's not going to have an environment that's going to want to keep this storm going. It's something we'll watch for through the morning, though. Watch us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll let you know if this thing's going to be affecting us in our northeastern counties. That's the only game in town right now. You'll notice we do have just a few of these little showers, downpours near, I'd say, southern portions of Illinois right now, trying to get kicked up and going thanks to a warm front moving through, but they're not having a whole lot of success because of the lack of shear out that way. A wider view shows you that we do have some of the clouds too. Over the northern portion of our viewing area, we'll begin to see some of the blow-off from the anvil shield of this thunderstorm complex up here near Indianapolis. You can kind of see that area intruding to the south and east, that area of clouds. That's the anvil blow-off from that. And with that blowing in the direction in which the storm is moving, that's also not going to be conducive for severe weather because it won't have the adequate sunlight needed, and it'll help kind of cap off the instability over the Indy area and over towards Seymour as well. Wider view shows you where the warm front is currently. We've been talking about this one for a while now. You'll notice that it's helping to trigger some of these showers down here just east of St. Louis near Carbondale, Illinois. We've got the warm sector setting up here near Memphis, and that's going to be flowing into our region. We'll see that warm front pass on through, and that'll eventually give us the environment required for severe thunderstorms as we head throughout this evening. Not this morning, though. Beautiful sunrise from our Shepherdsville Skytrack camera. Isn't that nice? Wish we could keep that all day, don't you? If you're heading out to the GloGo 5K on the waterfront, that's this evening. Things should be okay. I think the thunderstorms will come through after this is finished. But temperatures, yeah, they're going to be hot. Plenty of water today, folks. 90 degrees at 6 o'clock. We'll top out at 92 this afternoon. Current temperatures in the 60s at this hour. A few 50s showing up to our west and a few 50s to our south with E-Town at 59 degrees at the moment. Futurecast doesn't have that storm really doing much as we go throughout the next couple hours, but Futurecast may be having some trouble with it. A lot of the short-range models didn't pick up on that storm west of Indy this morning forming. It's kind of got it there, just say on the Indiana-Ohio border, but I don't think it's really going to cause much trouble for us today. Here's where the trouble comes. This is brand new data, believe it or not, as we go throughout 10 o'clock. I'm just seeing this for the first time as well. You'll notice it's got the storms already moving through E-Town by 10 o'clock and well south of here by midnight. By 1:30, not a whole lot going on, and then additional storms that try to die off in the morning. I don't think that's going to be the case. In fact, I do think, and I'll draw it out for you, by about this time right here, 9 o'clock, that is when we'll be seeing storms over Bedford, over Jasper, maybe into Seymour. This line right here, this is going to be 12 midnight here. This is going to be where the storms will be at this time. I think Louisville, that's when we'll be seeing them. And then I'd say about this line right about here, that's about 3 a.m. where they will be. And this is still kind of up in the air at this point because there's a lot that can happen between now and then, both on a small scale and in terms of how the data is going to be changing through the day. We'll have to track this via the radar trends this evening. Andy Weingarten's going to be in, and then I'll be taking care of things as we go throughout the very early morning of tomorrow. So we'll be up all night with you. Make sure you get through this all right. Check it out. We've got a moderate risk over Louisville and points northward. This is the first one we've had since February 20th of this year. We usually get a couple of these in a year. Here comes number 2. Damaging winds, hail, heavy rain. Those are all on the table. Can't rule out a small chance of an isolated tornado with these, but I think that risk will be maximized over Illinois. Things should merge together, be a little bit better coalesced, and that will kind of limit the tornado threat as it moves through here over the next, I'd say, night or so. All right, let's go through Futurecast for Sunday, because it's not only tonight when we've got the severe weather threat. Depending on how things pan out in the morning, if we get the morning storms out of here quickly, then I think we'll have an even greater risk for severe weather during the afternoon. You'll notice widespread storms by 6 o'clock here on Futurecast on Sunday, but notice how a lot of these are confined to the Kentucky side of the river. I think that will be the case because the atmosphere in southern Indiana will be so worked over from these storms. The cold front will be advancing in at a very fast rate during that time. So I think folks over our southern counties will be at most risk, and I think the highest risk will actually be south and east of us over toward the Lexington-Richmond area in our neck of the woods. And then by the time we go throughout your Monday, storms are gone, but we could be left with a few residual showers. We're under a slight risk as we head throughout your Sunday. Can't rule out an isolated tornado because this will be new storm development. Old storms tend to not like to put down tornadoes as much because they've got too much interaction with each other. Now, that's still possible, but I think the isolated tornado threat may be slightly higher tomorrow with any storm that may form that could go supercellular. We will watch that as we go throughout the evening. Let's talk about some fronts of change as it is. We've got the warm front moving through today. That will keep us warm in the lower 90s as we go throughout the afternoon, provide the adequate fuel for thunderstorms this evening. Then once the cold front finally moves through, we'll be cool in the 70s for highs as we go throughout the early portion of your work week. In fact, check out the next several days. We're going to be at 77 by your Tuesday. How about that? But we're back up to 80 by Wednesday. That after a small stretch of actual July-like weather. That's something that we haven't had a whole lot of lately. These cool snaps keep coming in, and of course this one's going to be coming in with a roar. So this evening, here's what you need to do. You need to have your batteries charged in your phone. You need to make sure you've got batteries for flashlights. You need to make sure that your weather radio has batteries in it as well. Set that to alert mode. Make sure you've got the Wave 3 weather app for your smartphone and tablet device. Make sure you've got that set to give you the warnings. You can also track the storms on there. Our latest forecast is posted there. We've got all the tools you need on the Wave 3 weather app. And, of course, want to make sure you tune in at Wave 3 News at 6 with Andy. He'll have the latest on the storm timing for the overnight hours. We'll be updating Twitter and Facebook as well. All sorts of ways you can stay abreast of the situation as we head throughout this evening. Everybody stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow morning.